there. Oh, my. Feels like I've been asleep for years. I suppose you're wondering what this is all about. I remember your aunt being just as surprised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Arbitrix. I am the master of the table and a prodigious teller of tales. And you, my friend, are about to embark upon quite the adventure. I hope you're ready. A storm came out of nowhere. The ship is on its way back to the biggest port in the Crown's Islands. Its voyage has been a success. The substantial treasure on deck was, let's say, acquired by 4 scoundrels who hired the ship for their venture. Who are they, you ask? Pick them up and see for yourself. This is Hammer, a violent thug who's really good at solving problems with her ironclad fists. Introducing Horatio Nine Lives the Thrice Blessed. The swindler came up with that name himself. This one calls herself Nuna. Don't ask where she got her heretical and very illegal powers of dark sorcery. Thomas Turlinger, the apothecary. A genius of experimental potions with a rather questionable clientele. As the storm swells, Captain Frost abandons the wheel, as her there at the rails shouting nonsense into the wind. The crew aren't happy. "They've bewitched the captain!" yells First Mate Barnabas. "And brought this storm upon us! We must take the ship for ourselves!" This is mutiny. A band of heroes would try and talk the crew around, but these are scoundrels. The best way they know to end a mutiny is to put it down. Hard. Time to fight. Each turn, you must spend all your yellow power pips to move, attack, or rest in order to defeat your foes. Move your scoundrel next to a foe. If you move too far, you'll begin to expend their power pips. Play this card on a foe within range to expend power pips and attack. One of the remaining crew comes up from below to join the fight. Play this card on an ally within range to expend power pips and give them a boost. Another sailor comes on deck. Looks like the whole crew is in on the mutiny. The scoundrels will have to defeat them all. The ship's cook appears, cleaver in hand. That's all the sailors accounted for. The fight is nearly done. Hang in there. Uh-oh. One of your scoundrels has lost all their health. They can't do anything unless someone revives them. Play this card to expend the rest of your power pips and fortify your scoundrel. You've defeated the mutineers, but you still need to regain control of this ship. There's a lot going wrong, and all your scoundrels will need to pitch in if they want any hope of surviving this storm. Try to choose the best scoundrel for each task. The more stars they contribute, the better. Place them on the skill checks and see for yourself. The mast is creaking ominously. Someone fast needs to climb the rigging and trim those sails. The rope is about to snap! Better get someone smart to tie a better knot. The captain has abandoned the wheel. Someone strong needs to steer the ship through this storm. The mast is creaking ominously. Someone fast needs to climb the rigging and trim those sails. Captain Frost is waving that pistol around with a mad gleam in her eye. Someone needs to talk sense to her. She looks at them, the way a teacher looks at an annoying student. Calm? Oh, of course I'm calm. Calm as this ocean. So, no help from the captain then? And to think, these four paid to hire her ship. And then the rabbit goes back into his hole. Yes, they did it! The cannon's not going anywhere. Success! They nimbly climbed up and trimmed the sails, slowing the ship and saving the mast. Well done! They strain against the wheel and manage to hold on, steering clear of the worst of the storm. You've done all you can for now. The ship's as safe as it can be. And just as well as a giant wave is about to roll over the deck. Brace for impact! I've always wanted to say that. Unfortunately for these scoundrels, there are only enough safe handholds left for 3 people. One of them is going to be washed overboard. Question is, which one? It's up to you who fails to hang on. Once you've made your decision, pick them up and throw them overboard. Gone. Deep beneath the waves. Only 3 scoundrels left. Knowing them, their first thought is that this means a larger share of the treasure. There's no time to mourn or celebrate. You've survived, but your ship's badly damaged, and you're not alone. That's the Sunfish, the personal vessel of Solomon Sanko, governor of the Crown Islands. Ooh, he's taken a battering from the storm. Though, it's still in better condition than your poor ship. Wait, those aren't sailors. They're orcs! The most feared pirates in these seas. The governor and his captain are tied up on the deck. The orcs clearly don't want you interfering with their plans. Prepare to be boarded. Good thing you secured the cannon. Now you can use it on the orcs. Oof, that must have hurt. The cannon's blasted away one of the orcs. Looking dire, but all is not lost. You bought Captain Starling enough time to free himself, and he's found his pistol. from Captain Starling. Together, the scoundrels and the captain free Governor Sanko, who thanks you all profusely.
Your ship's in no shape to sail. You should come with us to the capital,
Offers the governor. The governor's right. Your storm-battered vessel is headed to the bottom of the ocean. It seems the scoundrels have no choice but to bring their precious treasure aboard the Sunfish.
Excellent,
Says the governor.
Take the cabin next to mine. When we get to Half Arch, you shall be properly rewarded for your bravery.
Half Arch, capital and largest city of the Crown Islands. Home to fishers, traders, smugglers, artisans, privateers, and scoundrels.
Come with me.
Insists Solomon Sanko. The governor is determined to make good on his promise. Later that day, after a feast in his estate, the governor surprises the scoundrels with something that they never thought they'd experience. Fame and glory.
All hail the heroes of Half Arch! This is Hammer, warrior of true conviction and strength. Nuna the Wise, who protects us with mysterious powers. And finally, Horatio Ninelives, the thrice blessed swordsman and charming conversationalist. So be sure to speak with him tonight. Without further ado, let us begin the Heroes' Celebration! Ah, it's the heroes. Leaving already. That's a shame. May we meet again in equally joyful circumstances,
Captain Starling says before excusing himself.
I hope you had a pleasant evening. The heroes of Half Arch are always welcome in this city,
Says the governor before he's called back into the hall. After a round of farewells, the scoundrels slip away. Though they've lost one of their number, they've gained a second chance. They agree to split the treasure equally and go their separate ways. Time for your award. Choose a new ability and it's yours. Choosing a deceptively humble pouch of precious gems, Nuna slips the treasure inside her sleeve before leaving, hopefully to a remote, peaceful island. Horatio gathers the precious rings, amulets, and earrings into his pack before returning to his party. Such things will prove useful in the upper echelons of society. The hammer shoves a few bars of solid gold into her rucksack before leaving Half-Arch. She doesn't know what her future holds, but she's never been one for making plans. And with that, the treasure chest is empty, and our scoundrels... heroes go their separate ways, vowing to put their scoundrel days behind them. And they did. Well, at least for some time. "7 years is a long time. Long enough to build a whole new, quieter life. Tonight the scoundrels return to Half-Arch for the first time since that day."
Over here.
It's Governor Sanko.
Quickly, we may be watched.
A figure darts from the shadows and stabs the governor. This is very bad. You must find out why the governor summoned you. The governor is barely conscious and gravely wounded. Your scoundrel tends to him as best they can. A city watch patrol. This is not good timing. More city watch. They must have heard something while on guard duty on the West Dock. That's not good either. And then there's the governor's mysterious assailant. They're getting away. 3 problems. And only 2 of you left. Make a choice, quick! Your scoundrel will have to be fast to chase down the assassin before they get away. Your scoundrel darts forward and grabs the assassin's robe. Suddenly there's a bolt of lightning, and the assassin vanishes. Whoever it was, they have magic. Perhaps your scoundrel can talk the officers into heading back to their post before they spot the governor's body. The gates can be barred, keeping the city watch out, but it's usually a 2-person job. Your scoundrel lifts and strains, but the bar is just too heavy. The city watch has spotted them. Better prepare for a fight. The governor's eyes open, then widen as he recognizes Nuna.
You... stay away from me. I know how you got your power and what it cost. I know about all your pasts, and soon everyone else will, too.
Crawling away took the last of his strength. He's dead. A quick search of the governor turns up a map of the islands with several locations marked, each one horribly familiar to one of the scoundrels. No time to wonder what the governor's words or map mean. The City Watch have seen the scoundrels with his dead body. You'll have to fight them off. You fought off the watch, but it's only a matter of time before more come to investigate the commotion. You need to get out of Half Arch, and that means you need a ship. At the east docks is the governor's ship, the Sunfish. He doesn't need it anymore, but there are plenty across the Crown who'll recognize it, for good or ill. The scoundrels don't recognize the ship at the west docks. The guard probably means captured pirate or smuggler. Maybe good for laying low, but who knows who owns it. Whichever one you're going to take, now's the time to choose. The Sunfish has been restored to its former glory since the storm 7 years ago. Captain Starling is still in command, or should be. Instead, he's slumped against those crates, unconscious. This must be where the assassin was headed. There's a whole gang of them. No time for niceties. These assassins mean business. Maybe Starling can help you, if you can bring him round. Starling stirs. He's waking up, but needs some more help to get back on his feet. Keep trying. Starling groans. He's nearly with you. Captain Starling stands groggily.
You. Thanks for your help, again. Let's deal with these gallows monkeys. Then we'll talk.
The last of the robed figures vanishes in a bolt of lightning, just like the others. The Sunfish is yours for the taking, but the mystery has only deepened. Starling wants answers.
Is the governor safe? He was supposed to be meeting with you.
The scoundrels explain what happened, and that they need a ship to find the killers and clear their names.
I should have known something was wrong. That's twice I've failed to protect Governor Sanko. Come on, the watch won't be far away. We have a fair wind. Lose the topsails. I'll see this through with you. I need to bring his killers to justice, and besides, you need a sailor.
Once clear of the docks, the scoundrels examine the map they found on the governor. The marked locations are places from each scoundrel's past, a past they had hoped to leave behind. Captain Starling is surprised by something on the map.
Let me see that. These symbols, it's an old sailor's code. I can decipher this, but it'll take time.
As you sail the Crown Islands, your choices won't just affect you. The consequences of your actions will be reported in the Crown Herald. The scoundrels have been set up, and killing those guards won't have helped their case. You're gonna have to find out who framed you to clear your name. Who was the masked assassin? And who knew the scoundrel's secrets and told the governor? Your scoundrels will need all the help they can get. Go on, pick an upgrade. While the code is deciphered, you have another clue to investigate. The Governor's map. Revisiting those places will be hard for the scoundrels, but it's your only lead. The Smuggler's Cove is run by one man, Patrick Quick. Hammer says he'll know something. As the ship approaches Shadeport, memories of her last visit flood back to the Hammer. She tenses up. The others notice. She tries to distract herself by speaking with them. Horatio starts telling stories of his tragic youth and rise to fame, and the Hammer listens happily enough, though she knows better than to believe his tales. For as long as they've known each other, the Hammer has almost never told a lie, while Horatio has almost never told the truth. Of all the scoundrels, Nuna seems to understand most what it's like to have their childhood robbed from them. The Hammer is lucky, according to Nuna, to have gotten away from her adopted family while she was still young. I'd heard rumors about this place, of course, but I never thought I'd find out where it was, let alone dock the sunfish there. I take it you're not on good terms with the gang who runs this place? The Hammer grunts in agreement. Well then, I'll make sure we're ready to leave in a hurry, if need be. As the cove of Shadeport comes into view, the Hammer clenches her fists. She'll get her answers, one punch at a time. Shadeport is a hidden harbor used by smugglers, pirates and criminals when they can't safely dock in Half Arch. Right now, you're in the same boat. So to speak. The Hammer's been here before, and she thinks it's the best place for leads on the whereabouts of her old boss, Patrick Quick. Hammer! It's Paca, a smuggler she knows from her gang days. You have to leave. They're here waiting for you. These are members of Patrick Quick's gang, the Red Hats. There she is, and she has friends. Wait, that's the Governor's ship. Trouble, mates. We need more hats. A Red Hat sniper, but firearms are strictly controlled by the Alchemists Guild. And why doesn't that rifle make any noise? New gunpowder? Kraken's blood. Paca, distraught over her friend's death, asking for her help will probably require some convincing. Still a ways to go, but the crate is holding up as cover. Getting closer. There are plenty more Red Hats where those came from. Better get out of here. There are too many Red Hats here for you to beat them all. Time to come up with an escape plan. What I'm trying to tell you is that the Red Hats are going to keep coming. Find a way out of here before they wear you down. Getting closer. It's a tough but short climb up to the sniper. A nimble scoundrel could sneak up behind them and take them out. They make climbing look so easy in those other games, don't they? Better try again. It's a tough but short climb up to the sniper. A nimble scoundrel could sneak up behind them and take them out. The sniper doesn't notice your scoundrel until it's too late. With the sniper gone, maybe you can convince Packer to smuggle you onto Ruby Island, where Quick's Lieutenant Weevil is in prison. He's sure to know something. Packer is still shocked from her friend's death. Your scoundrel will have to snap her out of it before she'll take you out to the island. There are plenty more Red Hats where those came from. Better get out of here. There are plenty more Red Hats where those came from. Better get out of here. There are plenty more Red Hats where those came from. Better get out of here. There are plenty more Red Hats where those came from. Better get out of here. Packer is still shocked from her friend's death. Your scoundrel will have to snap her out of it before she'll take you out to the island. Packer shakes her head, but looks a little less frightened. Keep trying. There are plenty more red hats where those came from. Better get out of here. There are plenty more red hats where those came from. Better get out of here. There are plenty more red hats where those came from. Better get out of here. Packer is still shocked from her friend's death. Your scoundrel will have to snap her out of it before she'll take you out to the island. Packer is still shocked from her friend's death. Your scoundrel will have to snap her out of it before she'll take you out to the island. She's coming round. Keep talking. Packer is still shocked from her friend's death. Your scoundrel will have to snap her out of it before she'll take you out to the island. Your scoundrel mentions getting revenge against Quick. Ha! That does the trick. Packer steels herself and nods. We'll take the skiff. Follow me. All aboard! Everyone keep your hands inside the skiff. The water's gonna get hot where we're going. Off to the Ruby Prison. Time to find out what Weevil knows. Steam rises its waters, boiled by the island's volcano, fencing in the prisoners better than any wall. The only safe place to land is this dock, protected by the imposing guard tower. The guards clearly know Packer well, and quickly agree to her request. Packer waits outside with her skiff, and the scoundrels enter the workyard. Visitors, what a surprise. The Hammer instantly recognizes Weevil from her days working for the gang, and he recognizes her too. Thanks for coming all this way, Hammer, just to see little old me. We was told you might pop by. I'm a little busy for a chat, but me crew here will sort you out. Permanently. Oh, looks like this was a trap. You'll have to get past these goons if you want to find out what Weevil knows. Get away from me! What are you prisoners doing? Help me! listening to the likes of you. Stay back. Oh, you lazy dogs. Look lively. Kill this lot. An actual river of lava. You can't wade through that. But if they're nimble enough, a scoundrel could try leaping over it. They made it! All in one piece and nothing's on fire! Well done! Seems the guards have had enough of this riot. It's too bad they're not on your side. You think I got to be Quick's lieutenant by betraying him? You won't sweet-talk his plans out of me. Seeing as you're already suspected for the murder of government officials, more of them ending up dead around you will look pretty bad. If words fail, perhaps the fist will help. The hammer knows how to make a coward like Weevil talk, if he lives. Stop! No more! Quick made a deal for silent gunpowder with rogue alchemists. They're meeting on the diamond. Whoops. Let's hope that's enough clues to go on. Hey! Hammer killed Mr. Weevil. Nobody kills Mr. Weevil but us. Fight your way back to the docks and get to the diamond and find out what Quick knows about the scheme to frame you. Well, there's no one left to stop you from leaving. Time to go. It's gone real quiet in the... Is that blood? Never mind. I don't want to know. Just tell me where you want to go, and I'll get you there fast. Despite its brilliant white sand, the Diamond is an ironic name. It's a tiny, worthless island. No one has any reason to come here, which makes it perfect for those looking to make shady deals. Light a signal when you're done, says Packer. Thanks to Weevil, the scoundrels got here before Quick, allowing them to find a hiding spot. The one with the especially tall red hat is Patrick Quick. He'll have answers, according to the Hammer. They're discussing the silent gunpowder deal. Most of the goods must still be on board the alchemist's ship. Once they know you're here, the advantage is lost. So make the most of the opportunity by choosing a scoundrel to distract them. Your scoundrel rushes forward and manages to draw all eyes to them. Now's the perfect time for the others to strike. Your scoundrel socks the gang member with some solid moves. That's one less red hat to fight. Your scoundrel pounds on the alchemist's head. They're out cold. Why? If it isn't Hammer. Found some new friends, have you? Well, we'll kill them too. Remember why you came here. You need to find out who's behind all this. Now you just need to take care of everyone else before you can question him. Just the fuse left. Wow! If only these alchemists put their energy into fireworks instead of weaponry. With the last goon down, the hammer revives Quick and throws him onto the white sand.
You win, Hammer. I'll talk. I don't know who's behind all this, but I do know who they're working with. These rogue alchemists aren't just making gunpowder. There are more of them, and they're working with whoever's running this show. Working or something big, though I don't know what.
Before the scoundrels can process Quick's information, Starling pulls up at Diamond Island with Packer on board. Seems Quick won't be needing his ship anymore, would he? As the others board the ship, the hammer glares at Quick. It's time to decide his fate. With a last glare at Quick, the hammer chains him up for Packer. You know, the Crown Guard and me ain't all friendly, yeah? But I'm liking the idea of the bastard rotting in jail. So I'll think of something. The hammer doesn't say anything as the diamond disappears over the horizon. Perhaps she can finally close the book on her troubled past. Once they figure out who the mastermind is, I mean. It seems Packer kept her word and handed Patrick Quick to the authorities. What happened on the island didn't go unnoticed. Hopefully no one saw the scoundrels. According to Patrick Quick, the mastermind has been dealing with alchemists from outside the official Alchemists Guild. That's very illegal. As they sail on, the captain signals for one of the scoundrels to come over.
I have good and bad news. I deciphered the note, but the bad news is whoever wrote it wanted the governor to arrest all of you.
But Governor Sanko met with them instead. Was that why he was assassinated and the scoundrels framed, so they'd still end up in prison? While you ruminate on what this means, pick a new ability for your scoundrels. The new clues just opened up more questions. If they're to find out who's behind all this, the best leads are still the locations on the map sent to the governor. Nuna knows the way through the reef. There's a power in Bastoia that could help, she says. The ship proceeds slowly, following Nuna's instructions to pass through the treacherous Black Reef. There's an eerie silence aboard. The hammer's only question betrays her fear of Nuna's power. Do they all have sorcery on Bastoia? She's relieved that the answer is no, but wonders aloud what makes Nuna so special. Nuna replies that it was simple. She didn't die in the trials. One liar to another. Horatio asks Nuna what her real name is. She says her name was taken when she was just a child. On Bastoia, she was only the Anointed One. Horatio is equally unnerved and impressed.
Never easy going back home. But then it can't have been easy making a new life after Bastoia. Earning Jewelside's trust these last 7 years. I'm sorry. They'll have heard about the governor by now.
As the ship clears the reef, an uneasy feeling settles on the crew. There's a reason outsiders don't come here. And that Nuna never tried to return. Nuna guided you to a hidden landing spot with a disused path which has brought the scoundrels to this courtyard undetected. But you're not the only one sneaking around. That was one of the assassins who killed the governor, but they're gone now. Best to focus on the task in hand. Nuna needs a shadow stone for her scrying ritual, and they're all inside the temple. But these Bastoians won't be pleased to see her. You better figure out a way to get inside. These statues of Nuna could provide cover for the scoundrels to seek to the eastern steps without being seen, if they have the finesse to time it right. Timing it just right, Nuna and the scoundrels flit behind the statues to the cave entrance, and the Bastoians guarding the main doors are none the wiser. The paved steps slowly give way to a carved tunnel which leads the scoundrels to the anointing chamber, and one of the 3 shadow stones. These caverns are why the cult of the thing outside came to Bastoia. Beneath it flows the blood from below. Shadows from the realm outside, congealed into thick, dark fluid. This anointing chamber was built to grant Nuna her powers. She lay in the sarcophagus, and the sluices covered her in liquid shadow until she drowned. A distant memory, but one she can never forget. But the blood mustn't flow unless a ritual demands it. So why are the sluice gates open? It must have been the assassins. You must act quickly. Complete the scrying ritual and escape before the vile ichor rises too high. Or close the sluice gates to stop it from flowing altogether. Either way, you'll also need to fight off the things from below. Creatures of liquid darkness that swim into this dimension through the blood. The lever sticks a bit, then shifts. The mouth of the sluice gate slams shut. Impressive! Your scoundrel quickly pulls the gate's lever. Even from above, the scoundrel feels the unnatural cold of the blood from below. The energies of the Shadowstone enhance Nuna's powers, and she starts shaping it for the ritual, but it'll take some time to complete. Another one! Better close those gates, or get out of here fast. Nuna reels from the Shadowstone's dark power as she receives her vision. But she's seen too much. The images were so vast, so quick. She'll need the power of another Shadowstone to bring what she saw into focus. Best not linger in the caverns. The two exits lead to the other Shadowstones. The western stairs ascend to the sky portal on the temple summit, the other crucial component of the anointing ritual. The eastern stairs lead to the throne room, from which Nuna once ruled as the Anointed One. Another one! Better close those gates, or get out of here fast. The scoundrel bashes the sluice gate, and it moves. Barely. Hopefully a few more tries will force it back into place. Another one! Better close those gates, or get out of here fast. I'm not sure you're taking this rising ichor of an unfathomable dark god situation very seriously. Come on! Close the sluice gates, or escape while you still can. The gate moves a little more. Keep trying. The scoundrel swings a stone in a wide arc, and with an almighty clang, the gate slams shut. It's not opening again anytime soon. All the sluice gates are closed. You've bought yourself and Bastoya some more time. As the scoundrels ascend, Nuna admits she only visited the sky portal once, long ago. She doesn't know what you'll find up there. With the sluice gates closed, the remaining blood from below will hopefully drain away before it causes too much trouble. The Sky Portal is a door into the realm outside, home of the cult's shapeless, many-eyed god. It was opened once, when Nuna survived the ritual. Sacred lore forbids it opening again until the thing outside is ready to devour the world. And just like the sluices in the anointing chamber, the portal has been tampered with. It's open. Already, shadow creatures from the realm outside are exploiting the tear in reality. More will come through unless the portal is sealed by deactivating the soul siphons. The Shadow Stone, meanwhile, is right there to be used for Nuna's scrying ritual. Hopefully, with this Shadow Stone, Nuna can control her vision, and so focus on and remember the important details. The energies of the Shadow Stone enhance Nuna's powers, and she starts shaping it for the ritual. But it'll take some time to complete. The siphon reaches deep within your scoundrel's soul, but the pain is too much to control it. You'll have to try again. The siphon reaches deep within your scoundrel's soul, but the pain is too much to control it. You'll have to try again. Hopefully, with this Shadow Stone, Nuna can control her vision, and so focus on and remember the important details. The ritual is working! Buy Nuna some more time! The ritual is working! Buy Nuna some more time! The scoundrel supplies just enough life force to the siphon and commands it to turn off. It felt like being hollowed out. And there's still another one. Hopefully, with this Shadow Stone, Nuna can control her vision, and so focus on and remember the important details. The ritual is working! Buy Nuna some more time! The ritual is working! Buy Nuna some more time! Legend says the things from above are like locusts, extensions of the thing outside's many mouths. what these things could do to the island if their numbers grow. Hopefully, with this Shadow Stone, Nuna can control her vision, and so focus on and remember the important details. The ritual is working! Buy Nuna some more time! Hopefully, with this Shadow Stone, Nuna can control her vision, and so focus on and remember the important details. Nuna completes the ritual, and the glimpses she had before come sharply into focus. The other scoundrels hear her gasp in revelation. She waves away their questions. She needs time for the images to settle in her mind. It's time to go. But the sky portal is still open. You could close it before you leave. As for Sekvan, well, he's not helping you now. But you can escape the old man easily if you don't want to fight him. Another thing comes through the portal. They'll keep coming unless it is closed. The siphon reaches deep within your scoundrel's soul, but the pain is too much to control it. They'll have to try again. The siphon reaches deep within your scoundrel's soul, but the pain is too much to control it. They'll have to try again. As the feeling of icy fingers plunging into their heart subsides, the scoundrel manages to command the soul siphon, and it deactivates, closing the sky portal again. Nuna's ritual has granted her a vision, but it'll be safest to get off this island before she shares that information. Time to leave the temple. Outside the temple, all is not well on the island of Bastoia. The energies stirred up by Nuna's use of the Shadow Stones have allowed shadow things to swarm in the courtyard. It's Sekvan, Nuna's once loyal servant.
Anointed One, you have returned, and what glorious chaos you have brought us.
He's reveling in the destruction, but the shadow creatures seem to be avoiding him. Perhaps he can help you? At the front of these armed Bastoians is Aldos, leader of the rebellion against Nuna, which forced her from the throne years ago. The Anointed One! Don't let her escape this time. If you want to use this exit, you'll need to persuade the Bastoians you mean them no harm. Or kill them all. There's currently no safe path off the island. You'll have to destroy the shadow things, or find another way to exit. Aldos lists Nuna's crimes. Loath to believe your scoundrel's desire to help, but he's uncertain. Your scoundrel could convince him. It'll just take more time.
Traitors!
Sekvan's voice carries across the courtyard.
You are not worthy to the Anointed One. O thing outside, great beast, send your children to destroy the faithless.
Aldos is coming around. Your scoundrel nearly has him convinced. Swayed by your scoundrel's words and the evidence before him, Aldos finally nods. Bestoyans, the Anointed One and her friends stand with us against the darkness. We fight together. The Bestoyans shift their attention to the shadow things. The Bestoyans hesitate before steeling themselves and fighting on. You realize this small force is their last best hope. All that stands between the island and destruction. But Aldos sees your betrayal. I should have known. Fly if you want, Anointed One. But we shall have our revenge. The Bestoyans can't afford to chase you while there are still shadow things to fight. You've escaped. But the Bestoyans have been reminded of Nuna's evil. You have other concerns right now. You've done all you can for the cursed island of Bestoyer. Hopefully, it was good enough for its inhabitants to survive. Now that there's time, Nuna explains what she saw in her vision of what's to come. A glowing blue rain that reached everyone in the crown.
Ship a port!
You can't see anyone on deck. At least no one living. What's going on? This doesn't seem like a coincidence. Better investigate and find out what's going on. As the scoundrel approaches one of the bodies, strange blue coral bursts from its flesh and the bodies lurch to life. With their enemies defeated, the scoundrels take a moment to investigate the ship. Judging by the lab coats, these were alchemists, but not members of the guild. Was this an experiment gone wrong? What kind of coral is this? It occurs to the scoundrels that the coral is the same shade of blue as the rain in Nuna's vision. Could this be how it spreads? While you put the clues together, choose an upgrade for your scoundrels. You've found more questions than answers. There's nothing more for you here. The scoundrels leave the ship floating dead in the water. The village is infamous for being ravaged by orcs many years ago, when Horatio was there. As the ship nears Tide Reef, Horatio, who has been quiet, takes a deep breath and buries his nerves below his usual grin and swagger. Time to talk. The Hammer thinks Horatio looted the village after the raid. She doesn't care. Protect the living, leave the dead, that's her way. Still, can't be easy coming back, she thinks. Horatio says nothing, only nods. Nuna is thinking about orc magic. Fueled by blood and rage, manipulating bodies dead and alive, foul even by her standards, an evil that must be fought to the last. Horatio nods, then excuses himself.
Never thought I'd come back here. The sunfish was part of the relief effort. I'll never forget what I saw that day. You were lucky not to get caught up in it.
Horatio nods, muttering something about luck. Horatio spends the rest of the short journey in silence. You don't have to lie if you keep your mouth shut. Tide Reef, built in the fork of the Velvet River. Looks pretty good for a village that was almost razed to the ground by orcs only 7 years ago. Horatio is nervous, but as soon as he notices the others looking, he puts on his usual bravado and strides across the bridge to find the village square full of goblarks trying to capture the villagers. One of the villagers in particular attracts Horatio's attention, and his bravery dissolves. Horatio really doesn't want to be noticed. Let's see if he can make it to those trees before the villagers see him. In his haste, Horatio stumbles and trips. The sudden movement catches a woman's eye. You! The woman shoves away the goblark trying to shackle her. She grabs Horatio's wrist and slaps the goblark's restraints on him, chaining them together.
You're not going anywhere.
He looks horrified, and the goblarks have noticed the commotion. Whatever Horatio was doing, it's clear the other scoundrels are going to have to step up. They cross the bridge, quickly assessing the situation. Your scoundrel dashes forward, but they're not fast enough. The goblark makes good on their threat. The Goblarks seem very excited about your scoundrel's display of power. In fact, they've called some friends over. Oh dear. The Goblarks are done waiting. The battle for Tide Reef is on. As a second villager dies, the mood amongst the villagers turns. If you don't save them, Tide Reef will struggle to recover. That's another one you couldn't save. That's another one you couldn't save. With the last of the Goblarks dispatched, the battle is won. But Tide Reef's problems aren't done yet.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your friends?
It's the woman who chained herself to Horatio. Horatio explains that this is Zainab, one of the few survivors of the Orc raid on Tide Reef 7 years ago. Horatio was here.
And did nothing. Worse than nothing. He promised to save us single-handedly as we hid in my father's inn. And then he vanished into the night. And now you show up, just as it's all happening again. The orcs have landed on the beach and sent goblarks into the caves. I'm going to make sure you set things right by getting rid of the orcs and saving Tide Reef.
Zainab surveys the slaughter in her village.
If there's enough left to save, we have to do better. You don't win my trust that easily.
It's clear she doesn't know anything about the scoundrel's own predicament, but it can't be coincidence that the orcs have returned now. Maybe the orcs know something. Zainab shows you the way to the sea cave, where the orcs have returned for whatever they left behind 7 years ago. It's time to go. This cave lies under the tide line, safe only for an hour or so each day, so it's always been off limits, especially since the orcs visited it during the raid.
We tried to come down to see what the orcs were after, but we didn't find anything and nearly drowned. No one's been here since. Wait. Those things are new?
Zainab is referring to the things being collected by goblarks. Weird, yellow, spherical objects that remind Horatio of something. You'll have to get closer to find out what they are. But you're already close enough for the goblarks to notice you. The spherical things seem jelly-like in nature. Your scoundrels should be able to figure out what they are, given time. Up close, the objects are translucent. They only look like eyes from a distance. Your scoundrel wants to get a good look at what's inside. Keep examining them. This one looks the same as the others. As far as your scoundrel can tell, they're all identical. Your scoundrel turns the jelly-like sphere around and finally gets a good look at what's inside. A one-eyed, serpentine beast. Horatio cries out. recognizing what they are. But there's no time to talk. These things are eggs, and they are hatching. The Goblarks who were collecting the eggs notice the hatchlings, and with only a glance between them, flee the cave.
These things could destroy Tidereath. We mustn't let them run free.
Zainab's priorities are clear and make sense. But the Goblarks and their orc masters might get away, and they might know who's behind the scoundrel's predicament.
Tidereath was already destroyed once. I'm not leaving these things here for it to happen again.
It's going to take more before she turns her back on these spawnlings.
Even if the orcs are planning something worse, we still can't leave these things here.
Zainab is starting to doubt herself. The tide is rising quickly. The scoundrels only have so long before they're trapped here to drown as the cave fills with water. The hatchlings don't have that problem, so if you're gonna kill them, do it quickly.
All right, you win. Whatever the orcs are doing, it could make them strong enough to come back and kill us all anyway. Let's go.
Deciding it's best not to wait around in case Zainab has a change of heart, the scoundrels get going. Hopefully in time to interrupt whatever foul plan the orcs have for those eggs. That's them! The scoundrels will never forget what the orcs looked like since they rescued late Governor Sanko from them 7 years ago. Wait, they're leaving!
You have a ship, don't you?
Knowing what Zainab is getting at, the scoundrels take off toward their ship.
You know what those things in the cave are, don't you?
Zainab asks Horatio as they ran. He nods, explaining that it's in one of the stories he used to tell. Only unlike the other stories, this one is based on the truth.
Ah, great timing. Some orc pirates just had the gall to sail past me. Me? I was just thinking about apprehending them, but you were... Wait, who's this? Ah, exactly what I was hoping you'd say. Lose the topsails.
As they chase after the orcs, Horatio continues his story. According to the legend, the Kraken, one-eyed god of the sea and storms, sired many enormous monsters called Krakenspawn, including Tiamat, the serpent. Those hatchlings were her offspring. Though small, they were still the grandchildren of a god, or so the stories say. Why would the orcs be after them?
Brace yourselves! We're approaching their ship! Never thought I'd come to the legendary Fell Sea. We always suspected the orcs lived underwater, and seeing them dive down here confirms it.
Peering into the water, the scoundrels can see some kind of shape below the waves. But it's impossible to tell what from up here.
We can dust off my old diving helmet and belts if you like. It's from the years before I joined the Crown Navy, when I was a diver for the Alchemist Guild.
Zainab is impatient as Horatio dons the unfamiliar helmet.
Enough! The more time you waste up here, the less we have to stop them.
Horatio only just has enough time to secure his helmet before she jumps in, dragging him overboard with her. As their eyes adjust to the gloom, the scoundrels make out the enormous maw of a huge, dead, one-eyed shark. This can only be the legendary Branchia, another of Kraken's children, whose stories say died long ago. Why did the orcs need Tiamat's eggs? A goblark swims forward with one of the eggs. The orc warlock makes a savage gesture, and the goblark dies, plunging into the creature's guts. With Tiamat's egg, there is a flicker of life, well, and death, in the eye of the beast. And the purpose of all this becomes horrifyingly clear. The orcs mean to reanimate Branchia.
Ritual nearly over. You die here.
You have to stop the goblarks from delivering Tiamat's eggs into the beast's mouth.
Village girl, you know, stop us now.
Zainab, realizing this is the orc who led the massacre on Tide Reef years ago, swims towards him. Horatio has no choice but to go with her. the Goblark! However, another Goblark emerges from the gloom carrying an egg. They seem to have an endless supply of eggs and sacrificial Goblarks.
Okay. Not last orc. Not last fight.
With a final breath, the captain shuts his eye. You've stopped the Goblark, but this won't stop until you take out that orc warlock. The last of your enemies fall, and not a moment too soon. The scoundrels are running out of air. Time to head back to the surface. As they remove their helmets, Zainab steps forward, offering something she had tucked into her belt.
You helped me, so, well, I found this. Maybe it'll help you.
It's the Orc Captain's journal. Zainab must have pinched it from his corpse. Back on Tide Reef, Zainab pulls Horatio close with the chain.
Your only thanks is that I don't drag you to the authorities. If you ever come back here again, I will kill you.
Then she unlocks the shackles and leaves. Remembering the Orc Captain's journal, Horatio thumbs through it. It reveals that it was an unnamed human who told the orcs where to find Brankia's grave. But there's something else. Whoever it was also works with a group of assassins called the Arms of the Kraken. And their symbol is identical to the one on the Governor's assassin's mask. That confirms that the human collaborator and the person the scoundrels are after are one and the same. Yet another atrocity assigned to the scoundrels. Zainab must have tipped off the Herald. Here's hoping the authorities don't find you. All that to put a name on the Governor's assassins and how they fit in the picture. Your scoundrels don't get much time to ponder their next move.
A sail! 2 masts! Dead ahead!
Wait, is that... Less than a mile ahead is a vessel you never imagined you'd see again. Captain Frost's old ship, sunk 7 years ago. Just like its captain.
It is, isn't it? Frost's ship. But we saw it go down, wrecked by that storm.
But there it is, back from the deep, and sailing away with Frost herself at the wheel. Could Frost have been behind this all along? There's only one way to find out. As you follow her ship, it becomes clear it's headed for a location all too familiar to the scoundrels. Everything is finally coming together. Select a new ability for your scoundrels. Only one destination left. When it becomes clear that Frost's ship is definitely headed to Storm Island, the captain looks at the scoundrels with concern.
This is where we met 7 years ago. Just out of the endless storm. And now we're back. Maybe it's fate, I don't know, but if I'm going in there with you, I need to know. Are you ready? Can I trust that you'll work together after all we've been through?
After a moment of awkward silence, Nuna steps forward. She usually prefers to vanish into the background, given it's rarely a good thing when people notice her. But today, she doesn't mind. Nuna and the Hammer nod understandingly at each other. They both want the same thing. To end this conflict, so they can be in control of their destiny once again. Without saying a word, they pledge to make it happen, together. The Hammer clears her throat, indicating she'll go next. For the first time, it doesn't bother her that she can't solve every problem with her fists, now that she's not alone. The hammer and Horatio regard one another for a moment. They may be complete opposites in many ways, but they've come to understand, even respect the other. When the time comes, they'll gladly fight back to back once again. The usually chatty Horatio is silent for a while. He is thinking that he'll be honest for a change. No need for masks or tall tales with this group. Not anymore. While their exchanges were filled with superficial charm in the beginning, that's no longer the case today. Out of nowhere, Nuna confesses she enjoys Horatio's sense of humor. Horatio coughs and confesses he enjoys Nuna's stories of Jewelside.
Good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Well then, let's finish this. Together.
The scoundrels gather behind the captain, and together they steer the ship into the endless storm. The scoundrels came here with Captain Frost 7 years ago. A fitting venue for a reunion. Temple of the Kraken and the non-proverbial Eye of the Storm, the mythical source of the island's constant, endless storm. Frost has to be here somewhere. Best spread out and start investigating. The statue has an ominous message carved into its side. Ask, and you shall receive a gift from the past, a gift from the future, and a gift from the present. But be warned, the price of greed is eternity. That's Thomas, the fourth scoundrel when he was washed overboard 7 years ago. Why would the Eye show them the last moments of their dead friend? The other statues look exactly the same as the first. They even have the same message carved onto it. Nuna gasps. That's exactly the same vision of the ominous blue rain when she was scrying in Bastoia. The first vision was of the past, the second one of the future. The next gift from the Eye must be of the present. Thomas again, this time in front of the lighthouse. Before the scoundrels can decide what to do, a figure emerges from the shadows. It's Captain Frost herself. Seems that you finally worked it out. Shame that you'll all drown here. She activates the final statue, and then... The endless storm is now so powerful, even the temple interior is affected. At this rate, you'll never leave the island alive. Oh, this must be what it meant by the price of greed is eternity. Something's very wrong with these watery figures. As they get closer, you recognize them. They're similar to the coral monsters on the abandoned ship. You'll need to take out your enemies and weaken the storm if you want to leave. the storm is summoning the arms of the Kraken. You need to take it out, or they'll keep coming. There is a crackle of electricity in the air. You need to take out the Eye of the Storm. A surge of wind sweeps across the temple. This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... Watch out! Try not to be in the water when the lightning strikes. Oh, the statue won't budge, not even an inch. They'll need to try again, perhaps from a different angle? This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... It's still not shifting. Perhaps with a pivot next time? There is a crackle of electricity in the air. This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... There! It moved! I think. Try again to be sure. This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... It definitely moved. Keep going! This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... A surge of wind sweeps across the temple. This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... Watch out! Try not to be in the water when the lightning strikes. You did it! The Endless Storm is weakening. Only one thing left to do before you can leave.
I give my life to the Kraken. You'll never stop it.
Frost is not dead yet, but she's barely hanging on. the last enemy fall, the scoundrels turn their attention to Captain Frost. If there's someone with all the answers, it's her.
You're already too late. The lighthouse is now part of him, and you will be too.
And with that, she breathes her last. Well, this is it. The scoundrels know everything now. All that remains is to confront their past one last time. Their old friend, the fourth scoundrel.
How did it go? I nearly lost the sunfish when the storm swelled. I know where that is. Everyone, hang on to something. Another storm is brewing. But there's something strange about this one. More so than the endless storm we came from. Watch your backs out there.
Brilliant blue coral, the same kind you saw on Storm Island and on the abandoned ship, seems to have covered both the lighthouse and its surroundings. Ah, you made it. One step behind as always. That's Thomas. He's covered in coral. You hear that? Those winds herald the first cyclone ever created by alchemy. My spores will spread across the crown, and everyone will live forever, free of fear and regret. Those creatures have Thomas's face. And are those brains part of him too? This isn't creepy at all. That lightning tower must be generating the cyclone, but your way there is blocked. You'll need to make a path somehow, or these abominations will spread to the crown. More of Thomas's clones grow out of the coral. Looks like you'll have to cut this off at the source. humongous brain is even creepier up close. It also looks like the only vulnerable part of Thomas, which is either a strange oversight in design or a trap. Your scoundrel attacks the soft tissue, and for a moment it works. Unfortunately, the damaged part instantly regenerates. Your scoundrel wraps their fist around the amygdala, not that they know what it is, and rips it out. So the good news is, disabling the brain took out some of the coral creatures. Bad news is, it paralyzed your scoundrel. You'll risk electrocution if you try to help, so your only option now is to press on. The likes of you will never outwit me. The other brain starts squelching and squirming, as if it's being rearranged on the inside. A few days from now, your scoundrels will rise again, trapped as coral creatures forever. Or you can try again, for a different outcome. That lightning tower must be generating the cyclone, but your way there is blocked. You'll need to make a path somehow, or these abominations will spread to the crown. The humongous brain is even creepier up close. It also looks like the only vulnerable part of Thomas, which is either a strange oversight in design or a trap. Your scoundrel attacks the soft tissue, and for a moment it works. Unfortunately, the damaged part instantly regenerates. Your scoundrel wraps their fist around the amygdala, not that they know what it is, and rips it out. So the good news is, disabling the brain took out some of the coral creatures. Bad news is, it paralyzed your scoundrel. You'll risk electrocution if you try to help, so your only option now is to press on. The likes of you will never outwit me. The other brain starts squelching and squirming, as if it's being rearranged on the inside. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? Your scoundrel rips out the amygdala, but this one regenerates. Looks like Thomas did rearrange the insides of his brain. Your scoundrel finds a particularly brilliant blue piece of coral inside the brain and rips it out. Only one scoundrel left, but the path to the Lightning Tower is now clear. You think you're winning? You're mistaken. The cyclone is already here! A few days from now, your scoundrels will rise again, trapped as coral creatures forever. Or you can try again, for a different outcome. That lightning tower must be generating the cyclone, but your way there is blocked. You'll need to make a path somehow, or these abominations will spread to the crown. The humongous brain is even creepier up close. It also looks like the only vulnerable part of Thomas, which is either a strange oversight in design or a trap. Your scoundrel attacks the soft tissue, and for a moment it works. Unfortunately, the damaged part instantly regenerates. Your scoundrel tries ripping out the retina in the creepy eye, but that too grows back instantly. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? Nope, the brainstem is a good guess, but it's too tough to break. Ripping out the coral pieces embedded in the giant brain doesn't work either. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? Your scoundrel wraps their fist around the amygdala, not that they know what it is, and rips it out. So the good news is, disabling the brain took out some of the coral creatures. Bad news is, it paralyzed your scoundrel. You'll risk electrocution if you try to help, so your only option now is to press on. The likes of you will never outwit me. The other brain starts squelching and squirming, as if it's being rearranged on the inside. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? Your scoundrel rips out the amygdala, but this one regenerates. Looks like Thomas did rearrange the insides of his brain. few days from now, your scoundrels will rise again, trapped as coral creatures forever. Or you can try again, for a different outcome. That lightning tower must be generating the cyclone, but your way there is blocked. You'll need to make a path somehow, or these abominations will spread to the crown. The humongous brain is even creepier up close. It also looks like the only vulnerable part of Thomas, which is either a strange oversight in design or a trap. Your scoundrel attacks the soft tissue, and for a moment it works. Unfortunately, the damaged part instantly regenerates. Your scoundrel tries ripping out the retina in the creepy eye, but that too grows back instantly. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? Nope, the brainstem is a good guess, but it's too tough to break. Ripping out the coral pieces embedded in the giant brain doesn't work either. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? That part regenerates as well. Keep going. Something will work. Your scoundrel wraps their fist around the amygdala, not that they know what it is, and rips it out. So the good news is, disabling the brain took out some of the coral creatures. Bad news is, it paralyzed your scoundrel. You'll risk electrocution if you try to help, so your only option now is to press on. The likes of you will never outwit me. The other brain starts squelching and squirming, as if it's being rearranged on the inside. This brain is just as large and creepy as the first. Why does Thomas have multiple brains on the outside? Your scoundrel finds a particularly brilliant blue piece of coral inside the brain and rips it out. Only one scoundrel left, but the path to the lightning tower is now clear. You think you're winning? You're mistaken. The cyclone is already here. Your scoundrel may not understand how the tower works, but they know what a short circuit is. Perhaps, given time, they'll be able to find a conducting material with the right shape. But...
No, don't do that! I command you to stop!
Horatio is many things, but brave isn't one of them. Even now, he wants to run away. But he swore there won't be another tide wreath. And there won't. With the short circuit at Thomas's lightning tower, he and his corals were overloaded with electricity and destroyed, at the cost of one scoundrel's life. But the world is saved. By the time the other two scoundrels wake up, it's over. They never really cleared their names, but they've stopped caring about that. It's no big loss. It never felt right when they were lauded as heroes. True, they might be more hero-like these days, but it doesn't matter. After all, they're scoundrels.